Part 1. Pets and Play. By P.H. Sheffield, Henrietta Roy, Elsie Roy, Grace Bollert. The Toy Shop. One morning, Jerry was playing with his big red wagon. The little toy cat and the little toy horse were in the wagon with him. Jerry called, "Here I come! Look out for me! The toys are having a ride, you see!" Jane called to Jerry, "Let us make a toy shop. We can put it under the tree. Our playhouse will be the shop." Jerry said, "That will be great fun. I shall be the toy man. You will buy the toys from me." Jerry brought his big red wagon, his toy dog, his toy horse, and the 3 teddy bears. Jane brought her little toy cat, her doll, and her doll carriage. The children put some toys on a table by the playhouse. They made these signs. Jerry called out, "Toys to sell! Good toys to sell! Who will buy the toys I sell?" Jane came up to the table. "Good morning, Mr. Toyman," she said. "Good morning," said Jerry. "What may I sell you today?" "Have you any teddy bears?" asked Jane. "Yes, I have 3 of them," replied Jerry. "One is big, one is small, and one is middle-sized." "I like the small bear best. How much is it?" asked Jane. "The small bear is 5 cents, said Jerry. "Very well. Here are 5 cents, said Jane. "Will that be all today?" asked Jerry. "Yes, that is all today. Please put it in a box. It is going to be a surprise for my little girl." "Good day, Mr. Toyman," said Jane. The Lost Cat. One day, Jerry said, "Goodbye, laddie boy. I am going to school now. You must stay at home. Dogs do not go to school." Jane said, "Goodbye, Snow. I am going to school too. You cannot go with me. Cats do not go to school." Snow said, "Mew, mew," and ran off to lie in the sun. When Jerry and Jane were gone, Laddie wanted to play. He went to find Snow. She was lying asleep in the sun. Laddie said, "Woof, woof." That was the way Laddie said, "Wake up, Snow. Wake up. I want to play with you." Snow jumped down and ran to the playhouse. Laddie ran after her. Just as Laddie was going to catch her, Snow ran up the tree. Laddie could not climb after her. He sat down by the foot of the tree and said, "Woof, woof, woof. You won that race, Snow." When school was over, the children ran home to play with their pets. Laddie ran to them, but they did not see Snow. Jane called, "Come, Snow, come." But Snow did not come. Next morning, Jane said, "Where can Snow be? She was not here last night. She is not here this morning. She must be lost." Then Father and Mother and Jerry and Jane all went to look for Snow. Father went this way and Mother went that. They all went to look for Jane's little cat. They looked in the kitchen. They looked on the chair. They looked by the table, but Snow was not there. The children ran upstairs calling, "Snow, where are you?" They looked in all the bedrooms, but they did not find her. Then Laddie arose from his place on the mat and said, "I suppose I must find that white cat." He sniffed by the table and around all the chairs. He sniffed through the kitchen and then by the stairs. He sniffed along the floor until he came to the doorway. Then he looked all around and ran out into the garden. Laddie ran to the big tree. At the foot of the tree, he looked up and began to bark. The children ran after him. They saw Laddie looking up into the tree. They looked up, too. There was snow in the tree. Jane called, "Snow! Snow!" Snow was afraid to come down. Jerry said, "I can climb a tree. I will climb up and get snow." Jerry climbed the tree and brought Snow down. She was cold and wet. "Meow! Meow!" said Snow. That was the way Snow said, "I am cold and wet, and I want my breakfast." Jerry said to Laddie, "You are a good dog, Laddie. You have found Jane's cat." On the seesaw. Jerry and Jane found a board. They made a seesaw with it. Jerry sat on one end, and Jane sat on the other end. Up went Jerry, and down came Jane. Down came Jerry, and up went Jane. While Jerry was coming down, Jane was going up. What fun they had! Then Laddie came along. "Woof, woof," said Laddie. He wanted a ride on the seesaw. Laddie jumped on the end where Jerry was sitting. Down came Jerry, and up went Jane, and Jane stayed up. Then Laddie ran along the seesaw to Jane. Up went Jerry, and down came Jane. The children laughed at Laddie. "What can we play now?" asked Jane. The Balloon Man. When the children were playing, along came the Balloon Man. He was calling, "Balloons, balloons to sell! Who will buy my balloons?" He had many pretty balloons. Some were red, some were blue, and some of them were yellow. Jane ran to call her mother. "Oh, Mother," said Jane, "may I buy a balloon?" "May I get a yellow one? I like yellow balloons best." "Yes," said Mother, "you may buy a yellow one. Please get a red one for Baby. Baby will like the red one best." Jane played with her pretty yellow balloon. The wind played with it too. "Hold the string," said Jerry. "Don't let the wind take your balloon up into the sky." Part 2. Winter Fun. The wind. One day the wind began to blow. "Whoosh, whoosh," sang the wind. "I shall have fun today." Away went the wind up the street. There it found a man. Away went the man's hat, and away went the man, running after his hat. "Whoosh, whoosh," sang the wind. "What fun I am having today." The wind found a little old woman. She was putting out some clothes. "Whoosh, whoosh," sang the wind. "I shall have fun with you." Away went the clothes. Away went the little old woman running after the clothes. "Whoosh, whoosh," sang the wind. "I am having great fun today." The wind came up to a tree. The tree had many pretty leaves. There were green leaves, red leaves, yellow leaves, and brown leaves. "Whoosh, whoosh," cried the wind. "This is the place for me. I shall have great fun here." The wind blew upon the tree, and away went the pretty leaves. The wind blew them up into the sky. It blew them along the street. "Oh, ho, ho!" laughed the wind. "What fun I am having today!" The wind came up to Jerry. He was going to fly his new kite, and he wanted the wind to help him. "Oh, ooh," sang the wind. "I can make your kite fly high." Away went the kite up into the sky. The wind was very strong. Jerry could not hold the string. He let the kite go. The wind blew and blew. Then it found Jane playing with a pretty balloon. "Ooh, ooh," cried the wind. "I like to play with balloons." The wind blew on the balloon. It was too strong for Jane. She could not hold the string, and away went her balloon, up into the sky. In the night, the wind found some clouds. It blew the clouds over the hills. It blew them over the trees. It blew them through the sky. Then snow began to fall from the clouds. It fell on the hills, on the trees, and on the houses. Soon everything was white with snow. Jack Frost. Jerry and Jane did not hear the wind. They were fast asleep in their warm beds. When morning came, Jerry sat up in bed and looked at the window. He saw pictures on the window. "Wake up, Jane," he called. "Come and see the pretty pictures." Jane said, "There are pictures on my window too." Jerry and Jane looked at the pictures on the windows. They saw leaves and flowers and trees in them. "Who makes the pictures?" Jerry asked. "Let us ask Mother," said Jane. "She will know who makes them." Mother said, "Jack Frost made the pictures. Winter has come, and now we have frost and snow." The Snowman. After breakfast, Jerry and Jane wanted to play in the snow. They put on warm clothes and went outside. "I want to make a snowman," cried Jane. "Let us make a snowman as big as Father," said Jerry. Jerry made a ball of snow. Jane helped him to roll it until it was a very big ball. Then they made a ball to put on top of the big one. Jane said, "Now we must make a little ball for his head." So she and Jerry made a little ball for the head. Then they made some arms and put them on the snowman. Jane made the right arm, and Jerry made the left arm. Jerry ran for some pieces of coal and an apple. "Here is a piece of coal for one eye," said Jerry. "Here is a piece of coal for the other eye," said Jane. "This big red apple makes a fine red nose," cried Jerry. "Now we must have a hat for our snowman," said Jerry. Jane ran to the house and found a small white box. "We shall use this box for his hat," she said. The children looked at their snowman. "How funny he is!" cried Jerry. "He is as big as Father!" cried Jane. Jerry and Jane laughed and laughed and laughed. Then Mother came to the door. She saw the funny-looking snowman, and she laughed too. Mother called, "You must leave your snowman. It is time for school. Run along, Jerry. Run along, Jane." The children left the snowman and ran off to school. "We can play with him when we come home," said Jane. When school was over, Jerry and Jane ran to find the funny big snowman. They looked and looked for him. They found a white box, some pieces of coal, and an apple, but no snowman could they see. "Oh, Mother," they called, "where is our snowman?" Mother said, all day long the sun laughed at the snowman, and the snowman ran away. Fun on the hill. One morning, Jerry and Jane took their sled to a high hill. They sat down on the sled, and away they went down the hill. The children called out, "Please, please, get out of our way. This is the hill where we want to play." At the foot of the hill, there was a road. Many cars came and went on that road. A big man was standing there. He had on a blue coat with shining buttons on it. He was a policeman. He looked up the hill and saw Jerry and Jane coming on their sled. He looked down the road and saw a car coming. Jerry and Jane were coming fast. They saw the car, but they could not stop the sled. They were afraid that the car would run over them. The policeman put up his hand and stopped the car. Down the hill came the children. They went right over the road. The car did not run over them. When the sled stopped, the children jumped off. They were not afraid now. Jane said, "That policeman helped us. He stopped the car for us." Jerry went back to him and said, "Thank you, Mr. Policeman. You were very good to us." The policeman said, "Do not play on this hill. There are too many cars here. Take your sled to a hill where there are no cars."